Everything's fine on 93.9 Dublin South FM.
Welcome to India This Week. I'm Charmaine Colvin and you are listening to Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM. US President Donald Trump announced this week that India was willing to cut tariffs, suggesting a possible relief for India from sweeping US tariffs. India has agreed to the terms of reference for the bilateral trade agreement with the US following an intervention from the Prime Minister's office. AJ Shrivastava, former Indian trade officer and head of the think tank Global Trade Research Initiative, warned that while US is pressurising India to amend its trade policies to benefit American interests, New Delhi must assess each demand through the lens of its own national priorities, development goals and cultural values. He warned that many of the proposed changes in areas like agriculture, digital governance and public health pose serious risks to India's ability to protect its small farmers, maintain food safety, uphold deeply rooted social norms and secure its digital future. Recently, US Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick criticised India's trade policies, questioning why it does not buy American corn, and even accused it of blocking US farmers and imposing market restrictions. Agriculture is a key battleground in US President Donald Trump's escalating trade war, with tit-for-tat or reciprocal tariffs set to kick off this week. Trump has repeatedly branded India a tariff king and a big abuser of trade ties. For years, Washington has pushed for greater access to India's farm sector, but India has fiercely protected it, citing food security, livelihoods and the interests of millions of small farmers. India lawmakers are debating a controversial bill that seeks to change how properties with billions of dollars donated by Indian Muslims over centuries are governed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government has presented the Waqf Amendment Bill 2024, which brings in dozens of amendments to an existing law in the lower house of Parliament where it is being discussed. The government says the bill will introduce transparency into the management of Waqf, as the properties are called, but opposition parties and Muslim groups have opposed it, calling it an attempt to weaken the constitutional rights of India's largest religious minority. The bill will be passed in the Lok Sabha if it gets more votes than the halfway mark of 272. Most opposition parties, including the Congress, are expected to vote against the bill, but the coalition led by Modi's BJP is expected to have enough numbers to get it passed. An Indian court has sentenced self-styled Christian preacher Bajinder Singh to life imprisonment for raping a woman in 2018. The woman had accused Singh of raping her at his home in the northern state of Punjab, recording the act and using the video later to blackmail her. Singh, who has millions of followers, rose to fame for his evangelist-style preaching and events where he can be seen healing people suffering from serious illnesses by placing his hands on them. Singh's lawyers have not commented on the verdict, but are expected to appeal against the verdict in the High Court. The Indian Meteorological Department has said that most parts of India will experience an intense heat wave this summer, with above normal temperatures expected across most of the country. Many states already reported weekly average minimum temperatures above normal by 1 to 3 degrees in February. Hundreds die each year in India due to scorching heat. Sectors like agriculture also suffer as availability of water reduces. In 2024, India recorded its hottest day at 50.5 degrees C on the 28th of May in western Rajasthan state's Churu city. The country's health ministry attributed 143 deaths to heat waves between the 1st of March and the 20th of June. Independent experts, however, believe the numbers are much higher. And finally, Indian superstar Mohanlal has apologised and said some scenes will be removed from his new film after criticism from Hindu nationalist groups. The Malayalam language film L2 Empuran was released last week and is performing well at the box office. However, it faced a backlash from Hindu groups, including members of Modi's BJP, over some scenes, including one seen as referring to the 2002 anti-Muslim riots in Gujarat state. Writing on Facebook, he said, "As an artist, it is my duty to ensure that none of my films are hostile to any political movement, ideology or religious group." So that's all from India this week. You are listening to Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM.
Everything's fine on 93.9 Dublin South FM.